Hi there, folks. Welcome to my live stream. My name is Jim, and actually, welcome to our live stream. This is Jim and Dr. Tiff, and Dr. Tiff is kind of backstage, if you will, right now, kind of trying to help another person with some technical difficulties. So I'm kind of up here just buying a little bit of time. How are you tonight? Welcome to our live stream. So my name is Jim, and I reversed type 2 diabetes. Good afternoon, Jamal. Good evening, I guess. So my name is Jim, and I've reversed type 2 diabetes. And for the last couple of years, I've been doing social media live streams just like this and telling people about the Feel Great system because I believe Feel Great system was the difference maker for me personally. So let me see here if Dr. Tiff, are you ready to go, Tiff? There we go. And so for the last couple of years, hi, Tiff.
Hi.
There she is. So for the last couple of years, I've been doing live streams on social media, educating people about the Feel Great system. And I've had no fewer than 100 people reverse type 2 diabetes now. And countless number of people that have gotten rid of high cholesterol and high blood pressure and all sorts of things. And it's absolutely the best thing in the world. Hearing people say they have hope. It restores hope. Because how many of us go to the doctor, we get sick, and we just feel like we're stuck, and we get stuck. And along the way, I met a lot of doctors. I've met a lot of doctors who are actually very interested in this. But one in particular who means the world to me is Dr. Tiffany, because I feel like, I don't know, I feel like from the moment I met you, Doc, I feel like you just are different. Like you're the doctor who actually, I don't know, connects with people in a very positive way. And tell them about you.
Yes. Well, first of all, so sorry. I hate to not be professional, but we're always about business here, right, Jim? But ever since I met Jim, this is an awesome.
Oh, that's the way that it is. I feel like it's going to be that kind of night. It's going to be that kind of night. Oh, there she is. She's back.
What in the world? Okay. So let me be quick before I get cut off again. I don't know what's happening. This must be about to be a good live. That's what that is.
That's what this is. It's going to be a good live.
That's
it's going to be a good live.
So I actually am a family practice doctor. I was practicing that for 20 years. And then I figured there's got to be more to this. I'm tired of writing prescriptions. So then I actually decided to get certified in lifestyle medicine, went back to school, learned some more. That's about going after the root causes of conditions, using your lifestyle to change things, how you eat, how we sleep, how we manage our stress, when we eat, the foods we eat, right? Okay. And so I got connected with somebody on social media and they were like, hey, have you heard of these tools you could use? And I said, why not? And they happen to be a joint friend of ours. So if it wasn't for her connecting us, I wouldn't have had a chance to get to meet you. And not only that, I've got to use these tools to help so many people improve their sugars. My family alone, taking my brother out the ICU to get his sugars down. Huge. And being able to take him off of insulin. Metformin, Trulicity, getting off of my blood pressure medicine. I mean, there's so many things, helping hundreds of people, just like you said, Jim. Who doesn't want to keep doing this? So I'm excited to be here.
You know what, Dr. Tiffany, something just kind of came to mind. A lot of times, boy, sometimes when I think on the fly, it's not good, right? So she puts her head down like, oh no, what's he going to do to me? When I do a live stream, oftentimes people come at me sideways saying, you're not a doctor. I'm like, I never claimed to be a doctor. All I'm doing is talking about something, right? All I'm doing is educating people on what I've learned and what I did to reverse type 2 diabetes. And now you come in and you start doing live streams, and I think you still get attacked, maybe not like I do. But the irony, the funny thing that just came about is you've been a medical doctor for over 20 years. And the mutual friend of ours that introduced you to this is not a medical doctor. She's a chemical engineer.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I guess real quick, and I don't know where I'm even going with this, doctor, but we can listen to people. We can open our minds and listen to people.
Yeah.
There's a Dr. Ellie Jarouche. Do you follow Dr. Ellie Jarouche?
Yeah, I like her. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So,
Oh, I was thinking of somebody else, but yes, I do follow that doctor.
he had a post a while back on one of the platforms on X actually, and he said, if you're type 2 diabetic and you want to reverse your type 2 diabetes, listen to somebody who's done it. They'll tell you what they did. I think that's powerful, right?
Right.
Somebody who's done it. They'll tell you exactly what they did. And then I got into a debate on Facebook, of all places, on one of the diabetes health pages, something like that. Just recently, somebody said, what's the difference between reversal and remission? And I have oftentimes said, I don't care what you call it. I don't have it anymore. I don't have it anymore. Is there a difference in your mind, doctor, between reversal and remission?
Well, you know what? I think that's the problem, is now we're trying to apply terms that we apply for medications to something that's doing something entirely different. We're just taking your health back. I think that's when we get caught up in semantics of stuff. I like the reverse because we're literally reversing it. I mean, I don't think it should be that difficult to understand. But when you want to put it in, liken it to other diseases where we call them in remission, we're not trying to even act like we're in that space. So I like using words that are outside of that. That's just me.
That was exactly the approach that I took. It's funny that you say that, because it just means that we align again, doctor. I had said, I have reversed it, and I believe the words cure and remission are indicative of disease. That's what we talk about when we're talking about a disease. And I think that the more that we learn about this, the more we realize that it is not, in fact, a chronic and progressive disease. It is a symptom of insulin resistance, which, of course, you're going to describe here in a little bit, but a symptom is certainly not a disease, and insulin resistance is not a disease. Insulin resistance is a sickness, right?
Yes.
And so you don't go in remission from a cold. You don't cure a cold, you just get over it, right? You do better to get healthier. And so I went to that saying, I use the word reverse, and this is why. And man, you would not believe the people that came at me sideways. Oh, and one other thing is they said, once you are type 2 diabetic, you are always type 2 diabetic. And I firmly disagree with that. What is your approach to that?
Yeah, I firmly disagree. And not only do I firmly disagree, there's a whole body of specialists that agree. Lifestyle medicine, that is their job, to actually help people use their lifestyles to reverse and actually put these conditions under control. So, I mean, even you have the metabolic health professionals, another group of professionals. So, I mean, this isn't just about you or just about me as a doctor. This is about things that are already in place. We're just trying to help people live better. So, I mean, the semantics, that's the stuff. They try to come after me with the same things. And it's like, really, come with something else. The point is, do you want to be off of your blood pressure medicine, off your sugar medicine? That's it. That's the point.
It's funny that you use the word semantics, because I literally typed that into one of my responses. I said, I think we're getting stuck on semantics. It really doesn't matter. I don't have it anymore. I don't have it.
Basically, that's it.
I don't have it anymore.
I don't
Whatever
need medicine
you want to call
it. That's it.
I don't have it. However, my endocrinologist used the word reverse when she was talking about me. My endo. Okay, so let me get back on track here, folks. Welcome to our live stream. This is what I love about you, Doc, is that I feel like we can have a conversation here, and I hope other people listening in on this are maybe getting some answers themselves. If you have been invited to this live stream, as in, hey, you log into Facebook or you log into Instagram or something, and you've got a notification here. Oh, you're not logging into Instagram because I haven't hit the go live button. There, I just did. Dang it, that entire conversation gone. If you've been invited to this, listen. Whoever it was that invited you to this thinks that there's some information in this live stream that would benefit you. Give us an hour. That's all that this is. We run from 8 p.m. till 9 p.m. Eastern time every Wednesday night. And I'm willing to bet that if you've been invited to this, there's a good chance that this live stream right here could alter your life. Keep listening. Give us 60 minutes. If at the end of this you decide that you want to order the products, all you have to do is get with the person who referred you to this. That's it. It's that simple. Get with the person who referred you to this. If you stumbled across this live stream, get with either Dr. Tiff or me, and we will put you in the right direction. Okay, we'll get you with a referral code and get you set up with your products as quickly as possible. Now, if you are a person who's on the products and you want to share them with somebody, did you know that every time somebody uses your referral code, you get a $10 product credit? So this is an ideal time to refer it out. So if you want to refer it out, all you do on Facebook, type that little @ symbol and start typing their name. And eventually their name will populate into the thing, hit enter, boom, they're tagged into this. The next time they log into Facebook, they'll get a notification. It's that simple. It is so simple. Every time somebody purchases that you refer, they use your referral code. Every time they purchase, you'll get a $10 product credit. If you want to lower the price of this thing, there you go. That's how you do it. Okay, so the way that this works is we've got testimonials. We've got a lot of testimonials because guess what? A lot of people are winning on this. And I want to bring in, we've got 2 testimonials. And I don't know, Doc, your testimony or mine? It doesn't matter to me. Mine. Okay. So here's the deal. Many of you will remember Michael from, it's been quite a while ago, 5 months ago, something like that. Well, Michael at the time had lost like 60 something pounds in a month and a half, 2 months on the system, and then reverse type 2 diabetes. Well, now he's down 110 pounds, and all of his other numbers are amazing. And guess what? Michael is referring the products out.
Wow.
And the guy I'm going to bring in is his cousin. Here we go. Mr. Goza.
Hey.
How are you, sir?
Hello.
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. Hey, okay, so the question that I normally ask people is, how did we meet? Where was your health at when you started, and where is your health at now? Well, obviously, we met through Michael, and obviously, you met Michael. He's your kid. But tell us your story, brother. Where were you at health-wise? Where are you at health-wise? How long you been on it? Just give us the details.
I like about 3 days finishing up 4 months. I've been on it 4 months. When I started, I've been diabetic for about 12 years. And I'm tired of taking medicine. So Michael, I've been watching Michael, been watching you here along, behind the scenes. And I told my wife, I said, I'm gonna try this and see if it'll work, because I've been big all my life, and so I've tried everything, and nothing ever really worked for me. So I started this, and within a week, I told my wife, I said, there's something to this, I think. So I'm on Ozempic, or was on Ozempic, taking the highest dose you could get, taking 2,000 milligrams of metformin a day, and blood pressure medicine, cholesterol. And I told my wife, I said, I'm sick of taking this, because I take a double handful of pills every morning, and I wouldn't have to eat because I was full on medicine. So I started taking this, and Michael told me to get blood work done before I started, and I did. I went 2 days before I started it, and my A1C was like 10.5 at the time, and when I finished my 3 months, my A1C now is 6.1. And within the first 6 weeks, after 6 weeks of taking this, I didn't take no more. I hadn't took any more sugar medicine. I hadn't took a shot, no metformin, and to me that was amazing. To get off of that, it was unreal. I was taking 3 blood pressure pills a day. Now I'm only I'm still taking 1 blood pressure pill, but I feel like within another month or so, I feel like that's going to stabilize, and I'll be able to get off of that. My cholesterol, when I went and had my 3 months checkup, it was back to normal. It was good. So, back in the summer, I was bad to have kidney stones. I'd have them just ever so often, which I know it's only been 4 months, but I hadn't had any signs of kidney stones, and it got to where I couldn't hardly walk. My knees was so bad, and my hips hurt me so bad, my joints. I couldn't hardly get out of the house. Now I don't sit in the house. I hate sitting in the house. I mean, I'm up every morning. I'm gone all day, walking, standing on concrete all day for 10 hours a day, and I don't have any more joint pain. That, to me, that was the most important. That really blew my mind, because I just about cry with joint knee pain every day, every night when I come in. I just couldn't stand it. So, I mean, it's just unreal that it's took my pain away. I couldn't believe it. So, to me, it's the best thing that's ever happened to me. It's turned my life around. That's about all I can say. And I have lost right at 40 pounds in the 4 months too. So that's really helped me also. But I'm just about down to my ideal weight now that I want to be. I know I'm still a little big, but I'm like 6'4" and a big frame, so I don't want to get much lose a lot more weight, but I don't get hungry, on this like you would with some other stuff, and it's just unreal at the energy that I've got now, that get up and go, that I didn't have. So to me, it's just the best thing that's ever happened. I mean, if you're not on it and want to get healthy and feel better, I would suggest trying it. That's just about what I got to say about it. It's great to me. It's helped me. So, I mean, I love it. So that's about all I got, Jim.
I'm listening. I'm looking at Tiffany smiling at you. Do you see that smile from her?
I see it.
I love it. I love it. He said, that's all I got. Just 40 pounds. Feeling better. Not having pain. That's all you got? I mean,
no more type 2
diabetes.
diabetes.
Right?
No more cholesterol. Down 40 pounds. No, I haven't had any kidney stones since I mean, just all these little, that's about all I got.
Yeah.
That's about all I got. But and it's the best thing I ever did. So, yeah, it's just about all I got.
Yeah, it's great.
What's happening, and I want to talk about something right here, is we talk about telling friends and family about this all the time. Right now, there are a lot of people who are being tagged into this live stream. Tim Goza was one of those people. Dr. Tiff, Tim was watching you and I 6 months ago. Am I right, Tim?
Right, correct, yeah.
You were watching this live stream 6 months ago?
Yeah.
7 months ago?
Probably.
And sitting there and watching us and listening to Michael saying, hey, man, this thing works. And between Michael, his family, and our live stream and all these different testimonials, Tim's on it. And by the way, this little town in Mississippi has a lot of people like Tim and like Michael, and we're just going to see a lot of Mississippi coming up here. It's really this is what it's all about. It's what it's all about. Tim, I'm going to shut your camera off, brother, but will you stick around for me in kind of the background? And what I want to do is, after this live stream, of course, you know this, I want to bring you back. If anybody has any questions for you, do you mind sticking around?
Yeah.
And real quick, before I do that, Dr. Tiff, do you have any questions for Tim?
Well, he just laid it out there. He said, it was the best decision he made. So to ask him if he'd do it again, it kind of seems redundant, right?
Yeah.
All right, Tim.
I'm not gonna lie, it took me a little while, but like I say, it's the best decision I ever made.
Yeah.
I'm proud I put on it.
All right, brother. I'm going to bring you back here in just a little bit, okay?
Okay.
Thanks, Tim. And you know what? So here's another one, Dr. Tiff. This guy, Charles Quinn, this guy right here, he's helped me with my journey. So Mr. Quinn here, same thing. Mm-hmm. Same thing. Started watching this live stream, took advantage of it, and he's not my customer. He's not your customer. Mm-hmm. He just stumbled across us, and he works with John Patterson, who's a good friend of mine, right? And I think a good friend. I don't know if you met John or not. But he used John's link, and this guy here has had an amazing story, and that's what this is all about. So, Dr. Tiffany, you hear somebody like him, like Tim, just now say diabetes, cholesterol, joint pain, kidneys. Talk to me, Dr. Tiffany. Why?
Why? Yes,
Why?
that's such a great question. Why? So, what is it? So, we definitely are going to more the root cause of something. We're not just dealing with diabetes or blood pressure or cholesterol. We're getting to the root. And for those that came in after that, I got certified in lifestyle medicine to do just that, get to the root cause of what is killing us. So, poor metabolic health, that is the problem. 93% of the people in the US have poor metabolic health, and that's based upon a Tufts University study, which means only 7% don't. So that's 1 in 3 adults that are dealing with metabolic health issues. And then the medications we use as doctors to prescribe to decrease your heart attack risk, because that's in that metabolic health, it only helps 1 out of 100 people, 1 out of 100 people. But, if you look over here, if we really get people to make the lifestyle changes, change what they're eating, and some of that is not really our fault. That's why the tools we like help. You can see a decrease of 39% improvement. And so the reason why I bring up heart disease is because this is still the number 1 killer, and it started being the number 1 killer 30 years ago. So something we're doing isn't working. So yes, we have doctors telling us you're going to have diabetes or high blood pressure or high cholesterol forever. But it stands to reason that they might be missing something, considering we're still battling these things. So if everything we told people to do worked 30 years ago, this should have been eradicated, right? But it's not. And so diabetes, this isn't eradicated. It's growing like wildfire. You got 30.3 million people in the US, and this is based off of studies off of 2022, okay? That's 1 out of every 10 people. And then 1 out of 4 don't even know they have it. And then pre-diabetes, that's the disease, the diagnoses before you get type 2 diabetes. That's 84.1 million people, 1 out of 3 adults, and 9 out of 10 are walking around and don't know they have it, which makes sense, because if 93% of people in the US are having trouble, I mean, everybody doesn't know they have it. They don't know they have it at all. Some people haven't seen the doctor. Some people are having symptoms, and we're going to go into that, and don't even know what that means. And then over half of all the adults in the world are struggling with insulin resistance, which is at the root of the diabetes, the heart disease, fatty liver disease, erectile dysfunction, dementia, depression, migraines, and their body fats, particularly around the middle, and fatty liver disease. And so here's the symptoms. And I think it's so important to go over this, because with the whole skin tax thing, have so many people know that's genetic. I'm supposed to have that. My auntie has that. My uncle has that. My grandma has that. No. What's genetic, or what's probably going in the family, is insulin resistance. If you all are having all those symptoms, insulin resistance. If you have more than 5 or 6 of those skin tags, you're dealing with insulin resistance. Cravings for sugar and salty, difficulty losing weight, constantly hungry, even the dark patches of skin, because insulin can act like a growth hormone. It overgrows the skin, or it overgrows the skin tags. That's where that stuff is coming from. High blood pressure, having the fat, that visceral fat around the organs. And that's the fat that kills us. That's the weight. We're sitting around the middle. That's what gets us. That's what puts us at risk for the cardiovascular disease, heart disease. And then it can affect women in a different way, to where you have polycystic ovarian syndrome, to where that's the leading cause of infertility for women. Leading cause. And then you have your men with erectile dysfunction, the man boobs, the loss in stamina, the ED, of course. And then, so what is insulin resistance? Many of us have heard of insulin. We think of it more as something that's being taken in, like exogenously by, an injection for our diabetic family members that we used to see. But no, insulin is a hormone that we already have. And its job, it has many jobs, but the jobs we're going to focus on is delivering energy into the cells, storing excess glucose as fat, and regulating blood sugar levels. And so insulin resistance is a condition in which your cells are like not responding to insulin. And then what causes that? Having too much insulin in the bloodstream. And I'm going to tell you how that happens. And then what causes too much insulin? The things we put in our mouth. So with this global nutrient database sheet, what we see it about 3/4 of what the world is eating are carbohydrates. So why does that matter? Because whenever we eat a carbohydrate, it's going to break down into more glucose than your protein or your fat. And is that breaking down into glucose that makes your pancreas, the organ behind your stomach, release insulin? So carbohydrates are going to make you release more insulin than protein, and fat is very negligible on how much insulin has to be released with that. And so that's why I like to bring this graph, because I think this lays this out perfectly. Your basal base insulin level, say when you're waking up after sleeping, you've been fasting all night, so you have a pretty decent insulin level. It's low. There's been no reason for you to release insulin, right? Then you wake up and you have your breakfast that has a lot of carbohydrates in it, because we're told breakfast was the most important meal of the day. And with that came the cereals full of carb, the French toast, the pancakes, all those heavy carb meals, right? So when you have that high carbohydrate intake, that's going to make your pancreas release insulin. And of course, it's going to overshoot and release too much. So it's not going to really have much time to come back down if you have another snack. And, you're trying to be healthy. Say you get a Nutri-Grain bar. That's still carbohydrates. It's going to kick up the insulin. And then comes lunchtime and you're getting what's there at the office. And maybe it's pizza. Maybe it's a sandwich. You ran out and grabbed a sandwich. That's going to have a good amount of carbohydrates in it too, kicking up the insulin level. And then your snack, and then your dinner, if it's high in carbohydrates. And then, oh my goodness, you had a dessert. So do you see where I'm going with this? The insulin level really never gets a chance to come down. So that's where it's staying high in the bloodstream. And then because our carbohydrates have been stripped of their fiber, what's happening is all these processed foods we're eating, which I'm going to get into, like the wild rice, you see how that doesn't even look like white rice anymore? We're missing what was in there to protect us. So fiber, why we need it, is it actually gives us blood sugar control, helps us with our weight management, helps you feel full longer, right? And so it stands to reason, if you don't have enough fiber, then you're going to overeat this stuff like crazy. And that's what's happening with this packaged, boxed, and barcoded foods, big food, the fake foods we eat with all the chemicals in it, the colors, and all the other things that aren't quite food. One thing they did make sure to take away was the fiber. So you can overeat them. And so they can become addictive, more sugar. So that's why I like to say that's not entirely your fault, because you might not have known that's what was happening when you're eating those foods. But I'm here to tell you today, that's what's happening. So what are 5 things you can do immediately to help decrease your risk for all these things we're talking about? Is 1, try to eat more of a low carbohydrate diet and being more specific with doing like low glycemic index. And you can go to University of Sydney's website. They have this as a database to where you can type in the foods you're eating, the carbohydrates you're eating, and then determine if they're low glycemic or high glycemic. The next thing is just to avoid processed carbohydrates and sugars. And if you're addicted to this is going to be a little harder to do. Okay. And then doing resistance training, not just cardio, trying to actually get those muscles to move, because it actually brings in the glucose. So adding that to what you're doing is great. And it doesn't have to be you going to lift weights. You can do body weight. You can do Pilates. You can do yoga. You can do squats, every couple of hours if you wanted to. The point is to get those muscles actually engaged. And then high fiber, because we just talked about why we need the fiber. It actually helps with our feeling sated. It also helps with decreasing how that glucose gets into the bloodstream, that sugar. And then time-based eating. And, that's specifically not snacking between meals, but intermittent fasting, where you actually miss a meal and lengthen that time of fasting. You leverage your sleep time, so it's not you staying up all day and not eating, but we can tap into the healing power of fasting when we do that, which, we actually had a great call about fasting last night. Okay. So just to give a little short piece of what happens when you fast, reason why you do want to miss a meal, because that'll get you into the 16 hours. So if your last meal was at 8 o'clock and you wake up at 8 and you don't have your first meal until 12, that's 16 hours of fasting. But why is that important? Because you get into autophagy. That's where you have cellular cleanup. And that's actually a term. Somebody has a Nobel Prize for that, right? It kicks in and it removes damaged cells and improves repair processes. So that's huge. But I laid out those 5 things. And I'm not going to act like all those 5 things are easy, like I just up and did them the very next day. Having tools to make that easier is what allows us to be consistent and get the results that people like Tim and Michael have had, right? So if I told you there were things to make it easier, would you even consider it, right? So the GLP-1 hormone, we already had it. Its job was to reduce cravings, balance blood sugar, improve digestion, okay? But the problem is our lifestyle, eating that big food, a crap food, actually hurt us. And then we don't respond to this hormone as well. So having something that boosts it is important. And it helps with the cravings and overeating, difficulty managing weight, and helps with the energy crashes. So if you're having those symptoms, you could probably benefit from boosting the GLP-1. Now, most people have already heard about this because 1 in 8 people are already getting the injections, the Ozempic, Wegovy. This is all over the news. This is very sexy right now. So that's a way to boost it. But when you take something exogenous or something outside the body or something man made, it's going to boost that hormone at an astronomical level. And thus, you're going to get some crazy side effects. I mean, including, but not limited to, blindness, thyroid cancer, gut paralysis, gut perforation. And then, after you've been doing it for a year, you end up having trouble with bone loss, muscle loss. And we kind of need our bone and muscles. So, the other part of this is after 2 years, you end up losing what it was there for, to help decrease your sweet and carb cravings. So what do we need? We need something natural that can boost this hormone that was already there to help us. And so that's the good thing about the products we're going to talk about. They have chlorogenic acid, ferulic acid, theobromine, and saponins. Those things actually do help boost your GLP-1, along with the fiber, the short-chain fatty acids, and soluble fiber, because you need both soluble and insoluble fiber. And, you know, a little bit about me. You want to see me? TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and that's it. Back to you, Jim.
These are sexy right now?
GLP, yeah. Sexy in that everybody's trying to do them. That's what I mean. You know what I mean.
So, who was it? Just recently, I want to say it was Ben Bickman, but I don't know that for a fact. But somebody recently said that in about 2 years, people kind of start taking themselves off of those drugs. Have you seen that at all in your experience, where people are like, okay, I've had it, I want off of this thing? Is that or is that just something I'm stumbling across?
No. You did see that. I did notice it before I left, because now I no longer write prescriptions. But
right.
Before I left, and I was actually prescribing it because that's all I could offer to people, since I couldn't offer these options. After about a year, I did notice it was like, the side effects, or, I'm over the side effects. And, I really want to try to do this without it, is what happened. So having something to help transition people has been really great. And I've been seeing that now that I've been outside of practicing. And it's been able to give people their life back without all the side effects they were getting with the injections.
I feel like it seems like it's the easy button, and then people start taking it, and then they get nauseous like all day long. Or maybe they don't. Maybe they escape the nausea, but they get upset stomach, or maybe they skip that, or maybe they go to one of the other extreme ends like gastroparesis or something like that. And boy, it's just not worth it, especially when we learn, like what you just taught us, that our bodies produce GLP-1. All you got to do is eat the right things. Doctor, tell us about your guest.
Yes. Well, I'm so happy my guest actually made it. But yes, I'm so happy that you're able to come on, Marcus. But I got to meet him because I got connected with his wife, Myra, and I was so blessed to be able to show her these natural products and see so many great things happen to her. I mean, I'm not gonna get too much in your story, but Myra changed my purpose, my vision for what I'm doing here. Seeing people who actually have great results, you feel like I'm doing something here, my impact. So I'm so excited that you're here in extension. So go ahead, Marcus. Go ahead, share. I don't want to steal your thunder.
You got it. Hello, my name is Marcus Whitfield. Just to let you guys know, I was going through issues with diabetes 3 years after high school. I was diagnosed with diabetes, and I began to take medicine after medicine. And 28 years later, I was still doing the exact same thing until I was introduced to this product. Like, I stayed tired. I ate all the time. That's all I wanted to do is eat. No energy, nothing like that. And I began to take this product, and it changed all of those things. From insulin, taking insulin. I'm gonna say the age of 40, it was so bad. I had to go to the ICU. I stayed for almost a week because everything was just out of whack. So after this, I began to take this product, and for me, it started working 3 days after that. I was like, what is this? I started getting energy immediately. Okay. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to keep trying, keep trying. So I did that. Long story short, make it short, before this, my A1C was the highest 14. Okay. Taking medication, it went down maybe to 12, off the insulin at one point. Then I had to get back on insulin. So I was like, okay, what is it going to be? I'm going to take these shots and all of this for the rest of my life? God forbid. So I was adamant, take this product. It's been 9 months for me now since I've been on it. And the end result is that 14 A1C went to 6. I
Woo!
was I was weighing 320 pounds and now I'm down to 250. Okay. Energy. I got it. I got it. And I had a craving for sweets. I used to go out sometime and I was asked, what do you want? I say, I just want something sweet because I was craving sweets. Now, when I go out to eat, I don't want sweets. I used to eat 3 times a day, breakfast, they say most important meal, whatever, lunch, dinner. So now, even if I eat, it's only once a day. I'm not hungry anymore after the fact. And I just don't know. I was like, okay, so I keep taking it. Oh, that 4X shirt went down to a 2X shirt. That size 44 went down to a 36. And to be honest with you, I think this 36 is getting a little too big. It might be 34 now. So it's like, and just the energy, like energy is the best thing that could happen to anybody if you give it a try. Just try it. And to be honest with everybody, at first, I was like, I'm not so sure about this. And then I began to take it. And at this point, I don't know, Dr. Tiffany, you probably can answer this. I don't know if people say, do you have to take it for the rest of your life? I don't know. But for me, because what it's done for me, I'm going to take it because it does more things than just help me lose weight and everything. It makes my just I feel like I'm 18 again because I lost all that energy 3 years after high school, guys. I was like, you want to go? No, I'm tired. But now, ask me, okay, we can go. Where you want to go? I'm with it. I can do this. So it's just energy, energy, energy. And my health is greater than it's ever been in my life. I wouldn't change it for the world. I'm gonna stick with it. I'm gonna stay with it because I did it for me personally because I got tired of taking pill after pill after pill because I assumed that the pill would change it by taking certain things for diabetes, cholesterol, and all of that. So what happened to me is I went from one medication to another, to another, to another, and nothing seemed to work. If my A1C ever changed, it wasn't astronomical. Like initially it was 14, then it go to 12. And before I got on this ultimate thing, it was still 12. It didn't go no lower. I was taking pill after pill and everything. So nothing changed until I began to take this. And it's worked. And it's gonna continue to work because I'm gonna use it. And I think that's all I got. Oh, no, no, no. It's not all I got. And I just want to tell everybody who watching or listening, if you're tired of taking medicine over and over again, just get with somebody who can help you, like it helped me. I'm done. That's it.
Pick my jaw back up. You almost put a tear in my eye there when you said 6.
Yes.
Because I feel like so many people, and this is what I've learned over the last couple of years, is
Mhm.
that people get locked into this place of hopelessness and helplessness. They feel like they're just losing the battle.
Right.
And truth be told, it's like, man, I'm just headed towards the grave. I can't stop this thing, and I'm gonna go to the doctor and they're gonna give me more pills. And
Right.
it's just this slippery slope. And once you start going down, you're just going down. And when I heard you say it was 6, the
Hmm.
relief, the
Yeah.
relief. What was it like that day? Is that just like I didn't think
I,
that could
I,
happen?
you know what it felt like that day when I did the blood work? It was like I could see better. I saw a light just went over me like, okay, I'm here. I'm here. I got it. So this is it. That was it. I just felt so good. Like energy and everything. Like I don't, I don't really, I don't know if this. I don't even want to sleep anymore because I got so much energy.
It's
You
funny
know.
that you said you feel like you're 18. I feel I've not said 18 yet, but I do feel like early 20s. Like I forgot what it was like to feel like this. I really
I
did
say
forget what it feels like to feel like this. I feel great.
yes, sir.
I
And
feel
I say
incredible.
that, yes, I say it because remember, it was just 3 years after high school. I was 21 when I was diagnosed with diabetes. So that should be my time of energy. I want to go and do everything. And I wasn't able to do anything but take medicine, sleep, eat. I tell you what, my thing was all I wanted to do was eat, eat, eat. That was my comfort zone at one point in life, so I thought. And now food is not my friend anymore.
Mr. Whitfield, that was incredible. What I would like to do is bring you back here towards the end of the live stream for anybody that has any questions directly of you. Do you mind if I just turn your camera off, but we stick around for me to bring you back here in about 10 minutes?
Yes, no problem, sir.
Wonderful, Mr. Whitfield. Okay, how does this work? What are we doing? So Dr. Tiffany's gone through and explained what the problem is. The problem is insulin resistance. So how do these products kind of help on that? Well, let me dig in here a little bit. This is where I kind of like to geek out. So we have two products. We have Utamate tea and we have Balance Fiber. In 1989, Rexall Pharmacy, maybe some of you guys remember Rexall Pharmacy. They were at one point the largest pharmacy chain in North America. There were 11,600 stores at their peak. Today, there's about 13,000 McDonald's. So about as frequently as you would see a McDonald's today, you would have seen a Rexall in its day. Rexall Pharmacy developed a product called BioSlife. And here's an old packet of BioSlife. Now, in the United States, we actually call it Balance. You'll notice they are identical. So if you're in the United States, if you're in the United Kingdom, if you're in Australia, actually not Australia, Australia's BioSlife. It's one or the other. Depending on where you're at, you'll get one of these, but they are the same. You can see the packaging is identical. BioSlife was developed by Rexall in the late 80s, 35 years ago. And BioSlife was developed to help people lose weight and help control cholesterol. And then it worked. It worked amazingly. It was studied at the Cleveland Clinic, which is the top heart hospital in the United States. And I guess I could say that, but I'm just a barbecue dude. Dr. Tiffany Marie, is the Cleveland Clinic the top heart hospital in the United States, in your professional opinion?
#1 in the U.S.
Okay. So the Cleveland Clinic studied this product in 2000. Way back when, in 2001, I'm sorry. In 2001, they studied this product. They did what they call a double-blind, placebo-controlled, randomized clinical trial. That was then peer-reviewed and published. It was published in September of 2002 in Metabolism was the journal. It was then cited. It's been cited more than 20 times. And what they found, the top heart hospital in the United States, was that BioSlife. Let me just bring this up. Actually, I don't like to. Why would I? Here, Doc. Why am I trying to do this the hard way? I could show people.
Yes, I like the show. Receipts.
Yeah, right. So here we go. So this is from PubMed. It's an official website of the United States government. And you can see here, it's a clinical trial, fiber multivitamin combination therapy. What it is, they looked at BioSlife. This is the actual full study, and you can see down here from the preventative cardiology section of the Cleveland Clinic. It was submitted in 2001, accepted in early 2002, and then it was published in September of 2002. And if we look down to the fiber blend composition and dosage, you can see right there, it was BioSlife 2 that they studied. And it lowered LDL, it lowered total cholesterol, it increased HDL, triglycerides. It did everything what we want it to do. So much so that as we get to here, the final, they concluded such a product, if taken regularly, could reduce cardiovascular risk on a population basis and potentially decrease the need and or dose for lipid-lowering prescription drugs. So I want to reword that a little bit. Such a product, BioSlife, if taken regularly, well, we take it every day, could reduce cardiovascular risk. Doctor, is that heart disease or
Yes.
thereabout? on a population basis, that is everybody, and potentially decrease the need and or dose for lipid-lowering prescription drugs. Those are statins, right? So let me just reword this. BioSlife, if taken regularly, could reduce heart disease for everybody and potentially decrease the need and or dose for statins. Boom, 2002. Now, Dr. Tiffany was talking about the glycemic index a little bit ago. Well, she mentioned, I don't know if you mentioned or not, I believe you did, the University of Sydney, Australia. That is the home of the glycemic. Actually, you did, because you said you can go to the University of Sydney, Australia and look up the glycemic index. Well, that's because they maintain the International Glycemic Index database and website. If you hit the About page for there, it goes and it talks about this lady. Her name is Professor Jenny Brand-Miller. She is a doctor with over 250 scientific publications on this topic. In fact, I always think it's funny. It's just corny to me. On their About page, they talk about her before they talk about what is the glycemic index. That's how big she is, right? She's like an absolute powerhouse. Now, the reason I'm talking about her is Dr. Jenny Brand-Miller studied the effects of BioSlife on 3 common starchy foods, namely white bread, white rice, and mashed potato. All 3 of those are high in the glycemic index. And in each case, in all 3 cases, it lowered the glycemic index from high to medium. What that means is it took a bad food and made it better. This was Dr. Jenny Brand-Miller at the University of Sydney, Australia, the home of the glycemic index. Now, she wasn't done there. She studied it a second time. And in this study, they gave test patients white bread, which is a 100 on the glycemic index. Doctor, I always think white bread's funny because people think I would never eat a tablespoon of sugar. I'll eat white bread, though. Sugar is a 65 on the glycemic index. White bread is a 100. White bread is worse.
Yeah.
Now, this study was done in 2011, July of 2000. We're coming up on 14 years old. Again, by Dr. Jenny Brand-Miller and her team at the University of Sydney, Australia. And they gave test patients white bread and observed what BioSlife did to their blood glucose levels. It was a 20 to 28% reduction in blood glucose. And just to put that into perspective, right? A lot of people that I come across that are type 2 diabetic, it's not unusual for them to have a 300 blood glucose reading a couple hours after they're done eating. 20% off of that turns a 300 into a 240. That's what 20% is. That's a big number. 28% is even bigger. These are massive, massive numbers. Now, more importantly, because Dr. Tiffany just explained that insulin was kind of the canary in the coal mine, right? That's the problem. 13 to 27% reduction in blood insulin levels with BioSlife. Now, Dr. Ben Bickman, this guy is fascinating. If you guys have not heard of Dr. Ben Bickman, Dr. Bickman is a professor of cell biology and physiology at Brigham Young University. He oversees their laboratory of obesity and metabolism and pays particular emphasis on the etiology of insulin resistance, the very thing that Dr. Tiffany Marie was talking about just a minute ago. Dr. Bickman has been published more than 30 times on this topic alone. Look at all these publications. That's what this guy does. Now, Dr. Bickman published this research just a couple of years ago, October of 2023, so a year and a half ago. Yerba mate supplement exerts beneficial tissue-specific effects on mitochondrial efficiency and redox status in healthy adult mice. Now, they did do healthy adult mice because they had to sacrifice the mouse to get to the tissue, and they have not found humans that want to be sacrificed for the study yet. But the material and methods, what was that?
Go figure.
The materials and methods, they used Unisiti's Unimate. What this study found was that Unimate basically made us more efficient fat burners. And who doesn't want to be a more efficient fat burner? There was a side effect, an observation that was made in that study, during that study by Dr. Ben Bickman.
That I'll be sharing at a meeting in March in Las Vegas is that this yerba mate supplement called Unimate also increases GLP-1, we found in this experiment we did, the GLP-1 levels went up by about 70% in a fasted state, which is pretty considerable. That I'll be sharing at a meeting in.
That's pretty amazing, right? So,
Yes.
how does this work? How does this work? Well, we've got two products. You've got Unimate, the tea that I was just talking about from Dr. Ben Bickman, and there are 3 different flavors. There are lemon, if you like lemon flavor. There is lemon and ginger. I love ginger. If you don't like the snap that ginger can have, go with the lemon. Okay. There is a temporary seasonal flavor, apple spice. This tastes like Christmas in a cup. It tastes like that hot apple cider. It is amazing. But it's a temporary flavor. Okay. So it'll be gone here while supplies last. But that is your Unimate. The way that this works is you wake up in the morning, first thing in the morning, that is what I do. I've got this 30-ounce Yeti tumbler mug that I drink out of, and I'll put one of those packets in here, and I'll add hot water. I've got an electric kettle on my countertop. I'll add hot water to this, give it a quick stir, and this thing will take me like 3 hours to drink. And when it's done, I do it again. Sometimes I drink the second one cold. It doesn't matter, hot or cold. They're going to send you a bottle. We call them diamond bottles. And on that bottle, there's a little marker for Unimate. You're free to use that bottle for your Unimate, but you can also add more water if you like. And again, you can drink it hot or cold, get it in your belly, sip on it. That's the key, sip on it. Now, before your heaviest meal of the day, you're going to take the Balance. And the Balance is available in 2 flavors. Orange, which tastes like an orange Julius. Do you think, Doc? Orange Julius?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Or mixed berry, and I don't really know how to describe that other than mixed berry. It's delicious. Either one of these work. You're going to add that to the diamond bottle they send you. Will have a little marker on it. Specifically, that is 300 milliliters. Add that to it. Give it about, 6 or 8 vigorous shakes, and then down the hatch as quick as you can drink it, and then enjoy your meal. You're going to do that before your heaviest meal of the day. Normally, that's dinner for us. It's that simple. You pair that with an intermittent fasting schedule, voila. This thing is so incredibly sustainable. It's so easy. All you're doing is drinking a tea that gives you a ton of energy and drinking a Balance. It's like having dessert before dinner. That's how it works. It costs $159 a month. Let me break this down a little bit further, just for the pricing considerations. If you were to go to Unicity's website and buy just the tea, the cheapest way to do that would be in a 2-pack. That 2-pack would cost $135. You would get 60 packets of this. That breaks down to $2.25 per tea. $2.25. I'll spend that. Everybody spends that on a Coke. $2.25 is very reasonable. So that's $135. Your $159 means that $24 is what it costs for the Balance. Okay. Some people say $5.30 a day. Some people say $1.80 a packet. I like to break it down like that. $2.25. That's reasonable for a tea, especially with this type of kit. Okay, so that's the way that it works. They do give a 90-day money-back guarantee. So if at the end of 3 months you're dissatisfied for any reason whatsoever, ask for a refund. They'll give you all your money back. It's pretty simple. What I want to do, I talk too much, is bring back our guests. Here we go. Well, Tim. So let me put it on this screen. Or should we leave Dr. Tiffany there? Let's do that. Let's leave her on the spot. What did I miss, if anything? And let's ask people for questions. If there's anybody that has any questions, feel free. We got about 5 minutes for questions. And did I miss anything did I miss any questions?
No, I don't think. Oh, no, there is a question from Coach Chef Kiki.
And right above it, actually, there's something I don't know what I'm reading yet. The interesting thing is, I feel the onset of neuropathy in my left leg. I have not felt since I started taking the product. It's only been 4 days for me. It's like an afterthought. So the onset of neuropathy, that doesn't make sense. That would typically go the other way.
No, it sounds like she was already feeling it, but it has gotten better.
It's gotten better. Okay.
Yep.
I was going to say, I don't know.
Hi, Espinola. So happy you joined live. Yes.
Okay, so Coach Chef Kiki, if someone was diagnosed with diverticulitis, are they still able to take the Balance since being advised to stay away from fiber? Dr. Tiffany, that is all you.
Well, you know what I've heard Lindsay approach this. If they're in active diverticulitis flare-up, yeah, the fiber may be a problem then because that's when those pockets are inflamed. But when you're not in an active diverticulitis flare-up, meaning you just have those pockets, they aren't inflamed, it does not appear to be an issue. Of course, if you do have a lot of bloating or anything, decreasing, probably starting at maybe half a pack and seeing how that affects you.
And have I missed any other ones? I see Dr. G says mixed berry tastes like a Jolly Rancher. That's spot on.
Yeah, it's very sweet.
It's a quiet crowd today. I don't see there's any questions. So if that is the case, then I think we'll start wrapping it up. And what I like to ask is, let's see, are you able to start these? Oh, here we go. Here's one for you, doctor. Are you able to start these drinks while still on Ozempic? Did you wean off from the Ozempic?
Oh, yes. That's exactly what I had people do, because the shots boost that level astronomically. You don't just stop taking it. I don't even recommend anybody to stop taking any medications. I'd rather you work with your provider and wean off. And so I've had great results with people weaning off of their Ozempic and doing the products to where they're able to keep not only their weight down, but also keep their sugar and cholesterol numbers down. Yeah.
So, Mr. Goza, there are a lot of skeptics. This is my favorite part of the live stream, honestly. One of my favorite parts. Actually, all of it's my favorite part, but this one's one of them. Mr. Goza, there are a lot of skeptics that are watching this every day, and they're saying this thing's just too good to be true. And it's snake oil, it's something, it's this, it's that. What do you say to that person? If you were to address that person, what would you tell them?
I was one of those people. I ain't gonna lie, but it didn't take me but a week to figure out that it wasn't no skeptic. It turned me around. I'm telling you, it's great. It's the best thing I've ever done. I love it. I just say try it. I mean, it's 90 days. Get your money. Don't like it. Nothing to lose. But once you start it, you won't be backing out. I don't think. I mean, it helped me. That's just, I mean, it's great.
Mr. Whitfield, same question to you, but before, so Rena just asked a question from YouTube. So what would by the time frame of the product where I would see the results? So I think she's asking, how quick am I going to see results? And I'll take that one. And I wish that was just an easy answer. I wish that was such an easy answer. If we were all built exactly the same, then I would say, hey, this is the exact time frame that's going to happen. But we're not. No two people are exactly the same. The varying levels of how sick are you, and that's what it is. It's a sickness. How insulin resistant are you? How bad is it? It might take you a little bit longer. Or maybe you're like me. We caught my type 2 diabetes pretty quick, and I was able to get a reversal pretty quick. What I find fascinating here is Mr. Whitfield, who I'm about ready to go to, was type 2 diabetic for the better part of 28 years. Am I to understand that? Is that the number that I heard from you earlier, sir?
Yes, sir.
I'm going to transition. I'm going to use that as a segue into you're talking to somebody who is skeptical. You're talking to somebody who thinks that this is snake oil. What do you say to them? What do you say to them? And maybe how would you answer this question? How quickly are you going to see results?
Well, I would say this. I was skeptical about taking medicine that my doctor prescribed for me, but I took a chance. And obviously, it didn't work for me. And I was skeptical about taking the product, and it worked for me. So you just take a chance try it. And you have a 90-day money back guarantee if it doesn't work. So it's something that you have to make a conscious decision about. Do you want to get healthy? You want to do something natural and change everything about your lifestyle? Or do you want to continue to be on medication after medication after medication?
That's powerful. That's powerful. You know, the sincerity in his voice, it worked for me. And it's 28 years. I'm going to drive that point home. I heard
True.
Dr. Dickman one time say, you're never too far gone. And that is proof.
Right.
My 78-year-old mother-in-law reversed type 2 diabetes. Dr. Tiffany.
Awesome. Well, I'm going to say what I say every week. If you're sitting at home and you're not taking anything, you haven't been to the doctor in years, or you've lost faith in medications, the good thing is we do actually have a natural way to help you do those lifestyle changes so you don't have to do them on your own. So there is no excuse. My father died after his third stroke because he didn't know better. Now I know better. That's why I'm on here, educating, teaching. So that way you sitting at home and leaving your loved ones without you. So
That's all I got. That's going to be the quote, the takeaway from this week. That's all I got. That's everybody's saying. That's all
Thanks,
I got.
Jim.
Well, you know what? I got
Jim
nothing
did
to
that.
add to that other than, you know what? You've got nothing to lose. That's what I say every single week. You've got nothing to lose, everything to gain. Nothing to lose, and that if it doesn't work, ask for your money back. If this were a scam, it would be the worst scam ever, because scams don't give you your money back. If it were a scam, whoever created the scam needs to go back to scam school, because scams don't give you your money back. I understand. I to my core, I understand everybody's skepticism. I'm begging you, try it. It might just change your life. If you want to buy the products, get with the person who referred you to this. Okay, get with the person who sent you here. They will give you a referral code. They'll get $10 off every time you order. And I bet you in a month, you'll be referring people as well. Give it a shot. Thank you guys very much. Thank you. Doctor, did I miss anything? Tim, Mr. Whitfield, Mr. Goza, you guys were amazing guests. Dr. Tiffany, we'll see you next week.
All right.